MicroStation Essentials. Place cell. Cells are basically electronic rubber stamps, which means that you can go around and stamp your drawing with the same graphical symbol over and over. They are graphical elements that are grouped together permanently. They are extremely helpful when you need to reuse a graphic many times, and maybe in many different files. Cells are stored in common cell libraries, so you may have cell libraries for architecture, where all of your architectural cells reside, or cells for civil engineering, where all of your civil engineering cells reside. Let's see how MicroStation uses cells. Cells are found from the drawing task. The symbol or the icon for the cells looks like a little star. In order to place an active cell, you first must attach the correct cell library. In the tool settings here, you can see that it's looking for the name of an active cell. Next to it is a little magnifying glass that allows you to browse for cells. In this case, I have a cell library already attached called sample cell. I can go search for additional cell libraries by doing a File pull-down menu in the cell library dialog and using Attach File or Attach Folder. You may also have cell libraries automatically attached by your administrator. If I select Attach File, I'm taken to a dialog box to go look for cells. So for example, here are cells to help me do architecture or building work. And here's a cell, for example, for a chair, a door label, a north directional indicator. And at this point, I can either double-click on the name of the cell or click on placement to make it a cell available for placement. Once I double-click or click on placement, the name is automatically filled in for me in the active cell field. I can now go place this cell wherever I need it. In this case, you can see the cell is very small, so I can actually change the scale of the cell if I need to, making it a much larger cell. I can also place it at an angle. So, cells are very helpful when you want to place multiple elements. And they also make sure that the graphic looks the same regardless of what file I'm placing it in. So they're a standard, an automation technology. That's why most administrators prefer to create their own cells. Most users will use these cells created by the administrator, so we don't automate mistakes. There are additional features available for cells. You can place cells with their true scale. That would be the scale at which they were created. You can also use your cells with an annotation scale. If there is a specific annotation scale set inside the drawing, then that scale would be applied automatically to the cell. In this case, my annotation scale is 1:1, so there is no annotation scale applied to this drawing. In addition, you have other options to place cells relative to a level. You can place cells that are mirrored horizontally or vertically or both. You can place cells interactively where you can apply your own scale and rotation. And if you're in 3D, you can flatten these cells. So when you're placing a 3D cell, you can make sure that it's flattened to the two-dimensional view that you'd like. In addition, there's other features here that allow you to scale various features of a cell, such as the multi-line offsets, dimensional values, annotations, and you can make the cell associative to other elements in the drawing. So, to review, you have to first pick a cell library, and cell libraries can also be found in your primary toolbar. This will take you straight to the cell library dialog. You can find the cell of interest and double-click on it in order to place it. You can then place it as you need it inside your drawing. If you already have an existing cell inside your drawing, then it's rather easy to actually copy that cell. You can either use the copy command directly, or you can use select and place cell. This will allow you to select the cell and place a new version of it in the drawing as well. Other commands here allow you to replace one cell with another cell, create an index of existing cells within the drawing. You can also place cells as line terminators at the end of a line. And you can place cells in a matrix. In this case, a 2x2 matrix. In this case, I didn't put any row spacing in, so they're all on top of each other. So remember to add your row spacing in if you want to see the spacing. Probably a little bit too much spacing there, because they're little tiny little cells spaced far apart. So remember, cells are essentially electronic rubber stamps. They're graphics that are grouped permanently, and they're helpful when you need to place the same graphic many times and in other files, so that you have standards between files, so they all look the same. Cells are also stored in cell libraries.